Well, we're here at Enlit, and I'm in conversation with Arnaud de Limburg. He is the strategic business lead for Engie Hydrogen business. Welcome, Arnaud.
Thank you.
Well, there are many green hydrogen projects being planned or in development around the world. Not too many of them are actually under construction, but I think Engie does have a few projects like that. How are you making those projects work? What's different?
Yes, we do have indeed a few projects which are already in advanced development and construction. We actually started with a dedicated business unit in 2018. We have today more than 200 professionals working on green hydrogen projects worldwide. And the way we operate is that we normally develop in hubs where we have cheap or cheaper and available renewable energy, where we have an energy presence, where there are favorable policies, and then developing around one anchor clients, the other use for hydrogen, increasing the value for the product. So we typically find projects in the north of Europe where wind is abundant, in the southern hemisphere where we have abundant sun energy, and then from there, developing the hubs, it allows for export to other regions.
And where do you see the demand for hydrogen coming from? Which sort of industries are going to be your customers, I suppose?
There is a lot of demand. I think there is much more demand than there is possible supply for the moment. Where we concentrate is mostly industrial scale projects, so demand for the industry. We see that a lot of the chemical and industrial processes require hydrogen. I'm thinking of the steel industry, the refineries, all the petrochemical industry, heavy duty mobility. So hydrogen can be a clean fuel for mobility, can be a clean fuel for energy production in H2-ready gas turbines. We also see that it is a vector to optimize the green energy production, coping with the seasonality of the renewable energy. And finally, it's also an element of the sector coupling. With electricity to gas, we can basically reuse the gas facilities for transmission and storage, making the energy transition a bit more affordable.
Some places around the world perhaps don't have the supply of green renewable power in order to create the green hydrogen. What's the solution there, do you see, for those countries?
That is a real concern for certain countries. You have countries that clearly profile themselves as future importer. Take the example of Germany. I think they estimate the need for green hydrogen in the future at 80 terawatts. And with the whole current possibility, they could generate maximum 30, so they'll need to import 50. Countries like that have put in place plans for developing the imports of green hydrogen. For example, the H2 Global program, of which Engie is one of the founding members, aims at doing auctions to supply long-term supply to Europe of green hydrogen and then auctioning those on the German market for German industrials. So Germany is one of these countries, Japan, Korea, others, and Engie is indeed building projects worldwide, which in a first phase cater for the local economy, but in the scale-up phase have the ability to become net exporter to those countries.
Now, if we're going to see green hydrogen grow in the way it needs to, we're going to have to see a big expansion. Other renewable technologies like solar and wind have relied in the early stages on subsidies, government subsidies. Do you think that's going to be necessary in the case of green hydrogen? And if it is, what way should governments look to subsidise?
It is needed. If you look how we develop the renewable energy, it has taken 20 years to bring us where we are today. I don't think we have the luxury of 20 years for green hydrogen. So yes, we need subsidies in the short term to stimulate that economy, that development. But we need also to learn the lessons from the renewable energy developments and maybe not repeat all the policies that were put in place at that moment. I think subsidies are good ways in the short term to stimulate the economy. But in the longer term, what we need foremost is to have policies that stimulate the demand. So I think we need to see a CO2 tariff coming to life. We need to see a clear definition of what is a clean gas. We need to have a clear taxonomy. We need to have a clear policies as to traceability of green hydrogen. All those policies that basically will stimulate the demand. And once the demand is there, let the market do its role and there will be supply coming.
Arnaud, thanks so much for your insights today.
Thank you, Nigel.
Well, please stay tuned to the Enlit community, subscribe to our channels for more news and information about the energy transition.